Okay.
All righty. So let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. Whatever that looks like for you this morning. You can rest your hands in your lap. Find the support beneath you. Lengthen your spine up towards the sky. And then dropping your awareness into the space of your heart. So you might give a slight lift of the top of your breastbone. And without effort, back into that space of the heart. And then below the heart, your diaphragm. And dropping your awareness into the space of your diaphragm. And as you deepen your breath, see if you can feel that expansiveness of the diaphragm as it reaches out to the full circumference of the underside of your rib cage. So for the next few moments, if you're practicing Ujjayi breathing, can you make the breath smooth and elegant, both through the inhale and the transition to the exhale, all the way through the exhale. There's the pause again, and back up through the inhale. And as you work with your breathing right now, can you also feel as if there was the large forest behind you, the support of the trees and the plants. And also in this circle, we are together. We may not be in the same physical space, but we are practicing together now. And at the bottom of your next exhale, you're welcome to let go of controlling your breath. But can you still keep your attention into where you feel the breath moving in your body? How are the muscles and the bones moving, and where? And bring your hands together in front of your heart, honoring your presence here, and honoring also those dreamers who have the good news that they still belong, that feeling of belonging. To open the practice this morning, I'll chant the sound of Om. I hope you'll join me. And then I'm going to sing Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. I'll sing that. May all beings in all realms find peace and happiness. May my words and actions support this, to support the action of doing no harm. So taking a deep inhale. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. And then with your next exhale, you're welcome to bow your head towards your heart. And then release your hands and lift your gaze. All right, we're going to come into Virasana, so hero's pose. If that's a pose, if coming into kneeling like that doesn't agree with your knees, you could stay seated like this and take both legs straight, or one leg straight, one knee bent, because we'll add a twist to our Virasana. But make sure you've got yourself lifted. If your legs are straight, you might put a little support underneath your straight knee. Otherwise, if you're going to go to Virasana, you can move your blankets out of the way and grab a block or two. If I showed you sideways, right, the block is going to be between my heels. If I needed 2 blocks, I'd have 2 blocks. If I need support at the front of my ankles, I could roll up like a little washcloth or something under the ankles. And then before I sit all the way back, I'll take my hands right at the calf and just draw the flesh of the calf back and a little bit out to the sides. And then there's the block under the pelvis. My other block, my second block, I'm going to have, it'll be off to your right. It's off to my left, but we'll have yours go off to your right. All righty. So whichever seat you're taking, whether it's Virasana or you're seated with one leg straight, one knee bent, you would have your left leg straight and your right knee bent if you're doing that straight leg version. Okay. So let's go ahead and take the arms. Let's inhale them straight ahead. Exhale, draw them in, clasp the fingers, press them out. Inhale, lift your arms. Lift your arms, reach through your sides. Breathe deeply. Lift at the top of the breastbone. There we go. One more deep inhale, reaching the thumbs and the pinkies away from each other. And then we're going to exhale, release the arms just out to the sides right now. It's coming back. So even though we release with the exhale and the arms, can you still keep length coming up through the front of the spine? One more time, let's take the arms straight ahead. Let's change the class. Inhale, draw the hands toward yourself. Exhale, push them away. Inhale, lift the arms up. Lengthening through the sides. The collarbones are kind of in a bit of a V, right? They're pointing, like if I thought about it, the collarbones would be pointing toward the heart. The outer part of the collarbones reaching up towards the arms. One more deep inhale. This time as you exhale, we're going to turn to your right. So one hand comes across to the outer thigh. One hand comes behind to the block or something. And if it's okay for the eyes to also move with this turn, take one more deep inhale. We're going to exhale, come back to center. I'm going to grab my one block, take it with me to sit it over on the other side. So, and I don't know, on Monday we talked a little more about the vagus nerve. So these from the throat to the heart to the gut. So we're working on moving, releasing the vagus nerve, giving the vagus nerve space so we can feel that down regulation of the nervous system. Okay, arms, they go up and clasp them, change your class. Inhale, draw the hands toward you. Exhale, push the hands away. Yeah, and the shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. The next inhale, when you're ready, take the arms up. Can you go back to the breath, like you were using it when you were seated at the beginning? One more deep inhale. As you exhale, you release the arms and you start to turn, the breastbone starting to turn towards your left. Your hand comes behind, one hand might come across. Still working with your breathing. So the inhale, you might find yourself lengthening through the spine. And the exhale, you might find just a little bit more of a turn. All right, one more deep breath in. And then let's exhale and come to center. Great. Okay, let's come up and off the block. Oh, wait, I forgot the Kalabati breathing. I don't want to do that. I want to do the breathing with you. I forgot we were going to do that. We can do it either, whatever's a comfortable seat. You can do it cross-legged, you can do it in a chair, you can do it sitting in this position. But that'll also get us moving. So, and I said we were going to do it. So let's practice this. So again, this is that bellows breath. So just like the bellows at the fire that you squeeze to get the fire burning, right? We're having a lot of that in our society right now, right? Where we need to, you know, we need a little fire underneath some of us so we can be more actively engaged in a way that feels right for us. So this breath is a cleansing, clearing breath, and it helps us get moving. All right, so some people like to have a hand on the solar plexus so they can feel like that's where it's coming from. And the way we're going to practice it is we're going to do, first you'll inhale through both nostrils, exhale out both. Then you take a partial inhale, and then I exhale out the nose, and I'll just set a pace. You're welcome to stay with my pace, or if you have a pace that works better for you, that's fine. We'll do about 20 rounds or so, and then you'll exhale completely, inhale deeply, and then you suspend the breath. When you suspend the breath, you draw the abdominals up and in, and see if you feel like the chest begin to blossom and open. And then you'll exhale when you're ready. Take a normal breath, and then we'll repeat it again. All right, here we go. So inhale through both nostrils. Exhaling. Partial inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply. Suspend the inhale. You might feel the abdominals tone. And then you'll exhale. Inhale deeply, both nostrils. Exhale. That partial inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale. Exhaling. We're going to do one more round. So inhaling. Exhaling. Partial inhale. Exhale completely. One more time. Inhale deeply to suspend. And then relaxing the belly. Exhale. This is so beneficial for the bloodstream and the blood. It's really flushing through the blood, and it puts the body in that little brief moment of hypoxia, which is very valuable for your body. All right, so go ahead, come up off your seat, and we're gonna take you're gonna come to all fours. And go ahead and open the back of the right knee. Reach down into both hands. And let's exhale. Let's come to plank. We'll straighten the left leg as well. So reaching into the ground, lengthening through the crown of your skull, some tone in the belly. And then let's exhale back to either puppy or downward facing dog. So if you go to puppy, you're going to walk your hands forward and take the hips back. Otherwise, if you went from plank, you're just going to shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. So either puppy or downward dog. Noticing as you drop back into your breathing, Ujjayi breathing, or the balanced inhale and exhale, where you feel the breath now in your body. If you're in downward facing dog, with your next inhale, you're going to come to plank. If you're on all fours in puppy, you can come up to plank. We're just going to take a deep inhale, and then we're going to exhale, lower both knees, and come back to child's pose for a moment. And you're welcome if you can bring the sit bones, if the knees are okay, the ankles, sit bones towards the heels. I'm not concerned about your forehead touching the floor, but sometimes I like to have something under my forehead because it just gives me this awareness, like I'm bowing forward and I feel that connection to something more. And then we'll put the hands under us. Let's grab your blocks. Bring your blocks forward. I'm just going sideways in case there's any confusion. And then take one of your blankets and let's make it nice padding for your knees. All right? So you're gonna crawl up on your blanket. I'm only chuckling. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, let's take left foot forward. Left foot forward. The back knee is on the blanket. I'm glad you're there and I'm not actually talking to myself. Let's tuck the back toes under and lift up into a lunge with the back knee lifted. So when you do that, your front knee moves just slightly behind your front ankle. Can you also, on the back foot, have the back heel vertical? So with the back heel vertical, what do you notice at the front of the right hip? Another deep breath in, and then with the exhale, slowly bring the knee back down. You're welcome to either relax the top of the right foot or keep the toes under, whatever you need. Inhaling deeply. With your exhale, go ahead and pull the blocks back. So you might have fingertips on blocks. You know, in my home practice, I have more than 2 blocks. I have at least 4 blocks, probably more, but I sometimes use 4 blocks in my practice so that I can get a little more height. So right now, as you open up at the front of the right thigh, so like the middle of the right thigh goes towards the knee. Can you let the pubic bone release back, like as in going behind you, under you. And then we're gonna press down into the front foot and let's switch sides. So we'll bring left foot forward. You're welcome to have the blocks a little forward, please. And then we're going to tuck the back toe under and lift up into a lunge with the back knee lifted. Drop back into your breathing. Lift the back heel, make the back heel vertical. Just feel the correlation between the front of the left hip. If you take the heel way back, and sometimes we like to do that, that's fine. But in this practice right now, we're just lifting the heel way up in the back to see if we can sense how that does help open the front of the left hip. And then with your next exhale, lower your back knee. Draw the blocks back. Okay, so again, even as you open up on the front of the left hip right now, so the right knee is a little forward of the right heel, ankle. And as you're opening up, so we talked about the top of the thigh. Now, if you'll go just a little above the left pubic bone, toward the inner left hip joint, and just add a little support So there's a little tone there. You're not going to just completely let that go, just a little bit of tone. And then it will take another deep breath in. And then exhale, release that. And let's take this, step back and go into either puppy or downward dog again. And you can either use hands on blocks for downward dog or hands on the ground. And let's move your blanket out of the way. If you aren't using it, if you're in downward dog, you can move your blanket. If you're in puppy, you can use the blanket. Back into your balanced breath. Back into knowing the support that is behind you. One more deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale and step forward. So if you're in puppy, you can bring yourself forward into Uttanasana. Let's inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. The breath. Inhale, halfway left. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. And exhale your hands back in front of the heart. Releasing your arms. And let's take tree pose. So if you'd like to use a wall, can you have the left side of your body at a wall spot? So that we're all gonna, well, I don't know, but I'm gonna encourage you, we're gonna stay on the right foot first, yeah? All right. So begin to shift the weight to the right. As you do, can you reach all the way down into the ground? Can you draw the right outer hip to midline? So you're not gonna let the right outer hip go out. Pull that outer hip in so it meets, like if you were gonna tone the inner thigh to the outer hip, and then unweight your left foot. You can put it to the inner calf, you could bridge the knee, or you could bring it to the inner thigh. Arms can go either out, they might be in front of the heart, or they might be alongside your ears. And then we'll exhale, step down. And so I notice sometimes when I'm in tree pose, and I just kind of check in with myself too, and I go, am I still drawing the outer hip in and toning the inner thigh? Am I still doing that? Or while I was standing, did I tend to kind of let this go with the outer hip? So you might check in with yourself during your practice. And then when you're ready, we'll take the second side. So shifting into the left foot and bringing the right foot. Lengthening through the sides. And then we'll release the arms and step down. Mountain pose. So you can, welcome to shine the palms forward. Lengthen all the way up through the crown. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Can you drop a little more weight into the heel than in the toes? And for a moment, can we just feel some elation for the dreamers? we'll release that. Good. I want to do an upper back opener, but before we do it, let's take a wide stance, and we'll bring our blocks out in front of us. So we'll take this wide-legged forward fold. Hands can either be on blocks or on the ground. And first off, let's have the blocks right now just underneath the shoulders, under the hands. So the wrists are under the shoulders, the blocks under the hands, and the spine is long. And here, can you lift at the top of the breastbone? Look forward. If your neck is okay, lift at the top of the breastbone. Good. And then we're going to release that. And if your hands are on blocks, you might slide the blocks back about 6 inches. If the legs will stay straight, if the knees bend, keep them where they were. And now you could either be on the hands or you might be on your fists, depending on your body. And yeah, this far back might be difficult for some of the hamstrings. You can try coming up on fists. That'll give you a little more height. And lift through the top of the breastbone again. Reaching down from the inner thigh, the inner knee, all the way into the heels. When you did that, what happened at the back of the sacrum, around the tail? And then we're going to exhale, fold forward. So you can, if you don't need your blocks, you can slide them away. Otherwise, you can keep your hands on your blocks. You're walking your hands back towards maybe the space between the big toes. Still reaching from the inner knee to the heels. And then we'll inhale halfway up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, come to standing. Good. And then we'll step the feet together. All right, I want to do an upper back opener. Let's see how this goes. If we take our blocks end to end, you got your blocks end to end. And then let's take a blanket and we're going to fold it lengthwise and put it on top of the blocks. And then we're going to take another blanket. I'm going to fold that one the same. And I'm going to put it over the top of that. Let me see how this goes. Let me try it on first because I'm not sure how this will feel, and I want to make sure this is the right support for you. I might end up changing the blankets after I try it. 1 second. So when I come over, I'm going to take my forearms first to kind of keep the blankets down. And then I'm putting my shoulder blades up on top. Hands are behind my head. Now I'm going to pick up my hips. I'm going to take my hips up so that it's going to allow me to come a little bit more over my blanket stack. Okay, and then I'm gonna have a suggestion for you in a moment. So my head is supported by my second blanket. My neck is, and I want that for you as well. But I'm gonna reach my arms out, like out from my heart, out towards the corners. When I come out, I'll put hands behind the head, chin to the chest, and lower down. So on this second blanket, just make sure, it might even be a little past the lower blanket. Some of you might have, like at home, you might have like a pillow or another blanket that you just put to support that space at the back of the neck. And if your neck is vulnerable at all, you'll just keep the hands back there. But once you're ready, you can smash the blankets down with your forearms. Get the shoulder blades up there, hands behind the head, chin to the chest. And then go ahead, press into the feet and lift the hips. When you lift the hips, you feel yourself gets pushed a little forward. And I'm thinking about what is happening at my spine. So in the upper back, how do I open at the front of those thoracic spine? How do I open through my upper back? And then I might get to a place where I don't need to hold my head. Maybe my head feels okay like that. If so, I'll let go and reach my arms out. Otherwise, if my neck's complaining, you know, and I don't have any more prop, any more blankets or pillows, I'll keep a hold of my neck. But while you're here, whether you have a hold of the neck or the arms out, from that space at the middle of the breastbone, can you let that release towards the throat? The collarbones rolling up. Yeah. And then we're going to bend the elbows if the hands are overhead. Everyone's hands behind their head. Chin toward the chest. Lower the hips. Straighten one leg and come up to sitting. Okay. And then I'd like to do one more piece with this. So I'm going to take my blankets. And, you know, some of us might want 2 blankets stacked. Some of us, you know, just one might be enough. Or you might go, oh, I'm going to take the blanket that's a little thicker, that has more fuzz. And then I'm going to take my, my blocks. They're going to be in this shape. So they're going to be kind of at a 45-degree angle there with a space in between them, because they're going to be my forearms on the blocks and my hands clasped, kind of like shoulder stand hands. All right, let me see here. This blanket is going to be for my pelvis. So just watching one moment. When I come over, I have to get things in the right place. So forearms are on the blocks, elbows are under the shoulders, and I've got a clasp of the hands with a little space in between the palms, kind of like I have the space, I could put a little ball in there. I'm going to keep pressing in my forearms, so my shoulders, I'm not going to fall into my shoulder joint. I'm going to keep pressing there. I'm going to need tone in the belly. So first I'm going to go forearm plank. We're going to be here for a moment. Then thinking about the vertebrae again, lifting through the front of the chest, not being goal oriented. And if I think, wow, I needed that blanket to be higher, fine, I'll go back and add it. I want the blanket to support me as I keep lifting. Okay, so are you ready? All right, so you come onto your forearms. I could have had my blanket a little bit closer to my blocks. It's surprising. Forearms are on the blocks, hands are clasped. There's a little space in the hands. You're rolling onto that outer part of the forearm. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, go ahead and take a forearm plank. So one leg back, then the other. Pressing into that wide part of the forearm. And then as you exhale, the pelvis comes a little forward. Start lifting through the top of the breastbone. I'm still engaged in my legs. The pelvis might come down, it finds the blanket. I might release the top of my feet, but I'm not going to release the tone at the inner thigh. Keep the inner thigh toned. Lifting through the top of the breastbone. And then we're going to press into the forearms, knees to the ground. Push yourself up. And then just walk yourself back towards child's pose. You could take your blanket and make a little support for your forehead. And then go ahead and walk yourself back up. You can move your blanket off to the side. The blocks, we're going to go through a sun salutation. In this sun salutation we are also going to be, when we get to cobra, we're going to do like 3 cobras consecutively. And during those, when we come down, we'll bring the forehead all the way down to touch. All right. So let's start from downward facing dog or puppy. All right. Puppy pose is fine. If this is too much weight on the hands, take puppy. Whichever pose you're in, whether it's downward facing dog or puppy, strongly reach from your shoulder blades to the upper arm bones to the index finger knuckle. Let's inhale, come forward to plank pose. Exhale, we can lower the knees and the chest. So palms are by the side ribs. Again, that you feel the tops of the thighs and tone at the inner thigh. Inhale to a cobra. And exhale, lower all the way down. Forehead slowly rolls to the ground. Inhale, cobra. So in the cobra, tone at the inner thigh, shoulder blades, so you're broad across the shoulders. Exhale, lower. One more time, cobra. Lifting and keeping the chin humble because we want to find that support at the front of the spine. And exhale, lower. Inhale, press to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog or puppy. Inhaling deeply. And exhale, step forward. So if you're in downward dog, step forward. Puppy, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Exhale your hands back in front of your heart. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, right foot back. Let's have the back heel be vertical. Reach into the front heel, and when you're ready, inhale, rise. Inhale the arms out. Exhale to plank. Inhale in plank pose. Exhale, knees down, chest down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Again, cobra, take your time. Your exhale, lowering. Last one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, downward dog or puppy. Even as you strongly reach toward the hands and the rib cage toward the pelvis, breathing deeply. Can this feel like a rest? Even though it's very strong and very active, can there be a sense of ease somewhere? Another deep inhale, and with your next exhale, we'll step the right foot forward. Inhale, upright. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale your hands back in front of the heart. And then relax your arms. So can we, for this next sun salutation, I don't know why I can't get this camera to be like perfect. You're going to, we'll go down, and then when we step the right foot back, we're going to step the right foot back. We're going to go upright again. And then as you come down, I want to do a revolved side ankle. So I'm going to keep reaching through the back foot, back inner thigh, hand to the hip, and this hand to a block inside my big toe. So we're just going to add that piece, okay? Then I'll move my block, step back to plank, and do that piece. Okay, doke? All right, let's come to standing. Hands in front of your heart. And let's inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, lifting through the heart. Exhale, let's step the right foot back. Inhaling upright. Is the heart lifting? Can you still feel the back inner thigh reaching? Your inhale, take the arms wide. And as you exhale, so left hand's going to come to the hip and right hand's coming down towards your block. Move the block to the inside of the left big toe. Stay engaged through the back leg, the inner thigh, reaching down into the ball of the right foot and begin to turn toward the left. Another deep breath in, and as you exhale, you can turn back towards the ground. Both hands come down. Move the block out of the way. Step to plank. Inhale in plank pose. Exhale, cobra. So you come all the way down, sorry, we'll go all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. We'll just do one cobra this time. As you exhale though, can you lower down and allow the forehead to touch? The inhale to bring you to all fours. And the exhale to either puppy or downward facing dog. Deep inhale. And with your next exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhale upright. Inhale the arms out. And the exhale. So right hand comes toward the right hip. Left hand comes down, lock to the inside of the right big toe. Strong through the back leg. And a twist. I like to think about, I'm doing some work with the vagus nerve right now. I like knowing. From the gut, through the heart, to the throat. Let's exhale back towards the floor. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow. Inhale, upright. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. All right, and then we'll release that. Great. Okay, let's come down to the floor. And can you have 2 blocks available when you come to the ground? All right, and okay, we'll do this without any blankets. We'll come to the floor. And we're gonna come into a supported bridge pose. So when you're ready, lift your hips, take 1 block on the low setting, and maybe another block on top of that one. Can you keep your gaze now? Don't look at the camera. Keep the gaze like you're gazing. If your legs were up, you'd be looking at your belly. So keep a little gaze that way rather than, or at least skyward, but please don't turn your head. Can you go ahead and press into the tops of the shoulders? I've got my fingers pointing to the ceiling. My arms are in kind of like that zombie robot kind of pose. So I'm lifting the heart. No weight on the back of the neck. And the breath right now. Still working with the quality of your breath. What is it like when you're in this position? And can you still practice your Ujjayi breathing? Is the breath still smooth? right. And then let's press into the feet. Lift your hips, remove one block. And then remove your second block if you had to, and just resting for a moment, keeping the knees bent, feet on the ground. All right. Please roll over to one side, use your arms, and push yourself back up. All right, so let's sit on a blanket. We're going to take a twist. So find a seat, and then can you get your strap? So you're going to get your strap, and let's make a loop in your strap. And the loop will be pretty small loop, because that's just going to go around your foot. So if you take your right leg straight, and I might need my second blanket here for a sec too. So I'm going to bring the left foot, it'll be your left foot, to your inner right knee. And when I do that, I know that my knee, the bent side, isn't going to touch the ground. So I'm going to put some support under it. So I have some support under my pelvis. It goes a little bit on that side. And I have support for the outer knee that's bent. All right, we're going to take the strap. It's going to go around the straight leg foot. Yeah, and then you're going to bring the tail of the strap around the bent knee side of the hip. And then on the straight leg, take that arm, so it'll be your right arm, and reach it all the way around behind you. So right arm, yeah, to find the strap way over at the outer opposite hip. Cool. Then you're going to take your left arm, straighten it, reach for your strap, grab onto the strap, and you're twisting toward your right. So try not to pull the right shoulder back as you twist. Go ahead and let the right shoulder it's got a little internal rotation, that's okay. Your rib cage is going to turn under it, under the right shoulder. And then we'll exhale back to center. And we'll take the strap off. Straighten that other leg. And then bring the foot to the inner knee of the opposite leg. Basically, you bring the foot to the inner knee, or if you sit in lotus pose, you can bring your foot all the way up as long as that knee is on the ground. And then strap over the foot. It goes around the other side. So take the strap towards the bent knee hip. Other side, hand. There you go. And then you're going to bring your left hand behind you to reach all the way around to grab the strap at your outer hip on the opposite side. Yeah. Then you reach forward and you're turning. And you're resisting the urge to think that by pulling your left shoulder back, that's going to help you twist. Instead, can you find this turn that doesn't come from drawing the shoulder back or the elbow back? And then we'll exhale back to center. All right, let's take that off. Let's straighten both legs. Okay, reach your hands behind you with the fingers pointing towards your feet. So you find the hands on the ground and the fingers are going to point forward. And just a moment, Dandasana. So you're just a moment of Dandasana. And then we'll let that go. And then I'm going to take this blanket. It's going to go under my knees for a moment. Let's see, we're going to come over so that you've got a blanket that's going to be under the knees. But first, you're going to lie down and take a happy baby. So when you take happy baby, you can either grab onto the backs of the thighs. You can grab onto the shins. And notice when you lie down in happy baby, is your chin jutting up towards the ceiling? Can you bring the chin a little closer to the chest so that you're not, shortening the back of the neck? And then we take the soles of the feet toward each other. They don't have to touch, but we bring the feet toward each other, knees wide apart, just like a reclined moment here of Baddha Konasana. Knees are wide. All right, great. And then let's bring the knees together. Knees toward the chest. Okay, let's do one more pose before Shavasana. You might even want to roll to your side just because you're going to make your strap bigger. You're going to broaden the loop of your strap. So you dilate that, you make it large. And some of you, we've been doing this. I'm going to use 2 blankets. You can watch, and I'm going to slide the blankets under my pelvis. And then I'm going to take my strap. I'm in the loop. It's going to go around my feet, and I'm going to put my arms in it as well. Shoulder width, and bringing my arms overhead somewhere. They don't have to touch the ground. It's just having both legs straight, both arms straight. Again, I don't need to have my hands on the ground. My arms are resting in the strap and my legs. The 2 are going away from each other. Yeah. How's that feeling there? Yeah. Then we're going to bend the knees. Take the feet out of the strap. Bring the feet back to the ground. And then pick up the pelvis, scoot it towards your feet to take Shavasana with the blanket underneath the knees. I'm going to take a rest in Shavasana before coming up and doing some pranayama. So resting in your Shavasana. You can begin to allow your breath to deepen. And just bringing some movement back to your body. Let's make a mindful transition over to one side. And use your arms to come back up to a comfortable seat. So we're going to practice the bee breath or Brahmari. This one that's about just letting all the senses come in. It's about drawing the senses in and also feeling this connection between the heart and the throat. So we'll take this version where if you'll bring your hands up and take the thumbs in a moment are going to plug the ears by pushing on that little flap at the front of the ear. And then the rest of the fingers can rest just on your skull. So you'll inhale deeply, and the exhale will be the humming, the sound of the bee as you're exhaling out. And we'll just do about 5 rounds of this. So when you're ready, inhale deeply, plug the ears. Taking your time as you go, unplug the ears for the inhale, and then the exhale. You do 4 more on your own. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you.
All right. Stop the recording.